Welcome back to Maniacal Musings, the show where fortune favors the brave, and you'll never know who will shimmer on. Depends on the episode, really. I'm your host, Jeremy, a dark angel of sorts, trying to bring forth great music to this sleepless empire we live in once again. The siege against the parasite known as pop music has been ongoing for a while, and sometimes it seems like I'm the sole survivor of this fight. It's fine. It's fine though. I won't hit rock bottom until I defeat this game of faces in the call of the night. Talking to you, Lady Gaga. But my co-host though is a mystery of a man. In the night, he bursts of the devilry of ecstasy. You'll never know if he's a scarecrow at that moment or just hosting the shadow. During the day, he fights gravity, trying to carry his oxygen tank around with no fire to fight in him. He sits on his front porch, browsing his tablet for Circus.x, the finest clown porn site on the web, of course, and shouts at the neighborhood kids, "I wish you were dead. You know who you are." CJ motherfucking Plane, everybody.
Hey guys.
Welcome. Welcome back, folks. I had fun writing CJ's part in that one, I'm not gonna lie. But welcome back everybody. We are of course joined by another great guest tonight as we are being joined by Nicholas Ruchlewicz. I got it. Hey.
Ruchlewicz sounds good. Yep.
I got closer than I thought
Nicholas
I was
sounds
going
good.
to.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you can prepare as much as you want to say a name, but as soon as it goes to say it through your lips, you're like gonna fuck it up somehow. It always happens.
Understood. Yeah.
But Nicholas is a mental health advocate and just a music lover overall, so we were happy to invite him on the show. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Jeremy. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. DJ may need a little healing power here, but he's here. That's all that matters.
That's what music's about. Trust me, I have good stories about how well it can heal, but I'm definitely glad to be on and speak to you all and just be really have good, honest communications about how music can be really healing through it. So.
Which, speaking of which, you're a mental health advocate. Why don't you give us a little background on that and how music played a part?
So I got that cool title I gave to myself of a mental health advocate, but I am a traumatic brain injury survivor. I was in a single vehicle motorcycle crash March 15th, 2016. Separated my pelvic circle, broke my sacroiliac, crushed my left orbital, massive concussion, right side brain bleed, subdermal hematoma. So quite a bit of trauma, as I say. And through that, every brain injury is different. They call it the invisible injury. I didn't know. I was never in a coma, but I wasn't cognizant anywhere. And one of the things I do remembers a very, air quotes, remember, but I remember music. And because my girlfriend, so when I'd be going through pain spikes, she would play my Pandora station, which was like Typo Negative, which had Typo Negative, Lacuna Coil, Deftones, Opeth, and that's what was playing. But you can literally see my blood pressure lower, and which is where music, came in. So I remember waking up a couple weeks later, trying to learn what everything was, seeing two of everything, and just having to try to regain all independence. Acute rehab for a few weeks, and long-term outpatient for about 6 months, and build a bear from there. But through that, I became always wanted to make sure people knew that they weren't alone in these terrible times, and no matter how hard things get, there are people out there that you know might be able to understand or walk with you. And something that music was very powerful for me on was that taking those hard steps moving forward, and getting through it, and the stories that we can speak of our journey through whatever trials we have in life. Many of us can probably recognize certain aspects in our life where music did take a huge role in helping us. So that is how I became this advocate role. I do this because I don't want anybody to feel alone. I don't want to feel anybody to not know there's people out there. It's a hard enough world out there, and I want to make sure people know that they have advocacy there and they have people that see them. So that's it's been a wonderful 9.5 years. I've definitely done a lot of cool, crazy shit. I mean, I've traveled, went to United States Congress. I've spoken to to brain injury conferences, speaking to students, speaking to colleges, interviewing of one of the bands that helped me get through this, Christina Scavia with Lacuna Coil, and told them about how music helped me through this. And we talked about how everything can give you a perspective, and one of their newer albums about what it was like 20 years later and how that my trauma gave me a gift of perspective. So that's kind of a very broad overview, and I will gladly talk as much or as little as we want. If you guys have any questions about that, I can go in as deep as you want.
Yeah. Well, I will say, getting to interview Christina from Lacuna Coil is cool as shit. She is one beautiful woman. That's for damn sure. I mean, I was telling my buddy at work, like, oh yeah, guest brought on Lacuna Coil this week. He's like, I watch the singer's social media all the time. He's like, she's in her 50s and she just still looks like she's in her like late 20s, early 30s. Like, she's gorgeous and she's brilliant. Like, the way she talks about music is just brilliant. So it's
she is one of the nicest and most kindest people I've ever met, and people have seen that through our interview. And it was nice because I brought, there's people around the globe that watch her and were able to watch my interview with her and got to see that they weren't alone in their trauma, but they can also see how kind and compassionate she is and the band are. I mean, I can say that they are super nice, and I followed them around and watch. Sounds a little odd. I go on. I'll when they go on tour, I'll go to a handful of stops and spoken to many different fans there, and a lot of them have these crazy cool stories from these people. And someone being creative loves to hear how you helped and they helped impact your life in a positive way and make sure they do it. So it's pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I've gotten the chances to have the same conversation with rappers I've been following for years. I've got to talk to them outside concerts and got to tell them how much they helped my like problems through the years just by easing them with their music and making life easier. And they're totally 100% appreciative, and they're like, they can't believe you're saying that about their music. They're like, but we make music about killing people. I'm like, I know. That's what happens when you get to meet your heroes like Scum and Axe Murder Boys and Lex the Hexmaster. But what album did you want to bring tonight? I mean, we kind of just hinted at it like crazy, but what album did you want to bring tonight?
I was going to talk about their newest, Lacuna Coil's newest album, Sleepless Empire.
Which, since CJ's not that much for talking to Mood tonight, I'll gladly go first in this one. I never, Lacuna Coil, I've known the name since like high school. I just never, they've been around for 20 plus years, for God's sakes. I just never got into them, never gave them a chance even, and I don't know why. I mean, I think I was telling you before the show, like in high school, I thought they were like too emo, and I wasn't into that type of music just yet. In high school, I was more general metal, like Slipknot and Cradle of Filth and that type of stuff, like all the what people would call mall metal. But nowadays I'm into more goth music, and especially lately. And Lacuna Coil did not disappoint me today. Hearing their album I liked it a lot. Like we were talking about earlier, I do love the male female singer combo, and it's their lyrics are really amazing. I was really getting into a lot of their songs today. The lyrics really were sticking out to me. I had a busy couple days, and it just really it hit home. Like it hit home, and a lot of their songs I liked. I'm like, all right, I'm following them on Spotify now. I gotta go back and check out all their other albums for the last 20 years. Probably take me a few days to get through, but I'll get through it all. But so thank you. You actually introduced me to a band I probably should have been listening to since high school, for God's sake, and I probably would have been a massive fan by now. But time. Everybody doesn't make the choices they should with music always. But
yeah, I can say they appreciate their fans very much, and I do know that music has helped. And they did a live premiere. They did quite a bit of music videos with this latest album, and they had a song where they did with Ash Costello was one of the
Yep.
co-vocalists on the song In the Meantime, and it has a lot about suicidal ideations, and the video was it was this person, and the band said, if you need help, please reach out, and people wrote to her and wrote to them about their struggles, and it was really empowering. And again, it's this wonderful mantle I like to do about this mental health advocacy. I did a webinar so May 21st is National Trauma Survivors Day, and I'm a volunteer with Trauma Survivors Network. And I was asked to do a webinar on at a speech, and I saw looking cool that Sunday before in Pittsburgh, and I was like, I'm going to tie you guys into my webinar. They're like, yeah, right. No. I said, no, I am. So I mixed 7 different songs worth of lyrics in my webinar. And because this album, Sleepless Empire, so much to do with anxiety, depression, the day-to-day struggles. It wrote itself, just to do it. So, I mean, that's something that, and obviously you're hinting a lot of the song names through it. It definitely does feel, and the emotions that I get through their music, it is they'll put to words what I feel sometimes. That's something that's really important.
I was gonna say it's funny you say that, because I like to play with my the names of the tracks and every week, and the lyrics as well, like sometimes, just to make a good intro. And it's amazing what you can do with that stuff. It really is.
Yeah.
I've made some intros that have made me die laughing inside as I'm saying them. So as you could tell probably by my face when I'm saying them. But well, CJ, what did you think of Sleepless Empire?
Let me start by saying I relate deeply to what he's saying. I have this beautiful thing here. I suffered brain injury in 2010 as a truck driver. I had a 1/2-inch chain snap and smack me in the middle of the forehead. No coma like you. It didn't even knock me out. It fractured the front of my skull, scrambled my frontal cortex. My impulse control center is completely dead, pretty much. So I have all of these wonderful medicines I have to take every day for, impulse control, bipolar, intermittent explosive disorder, and shit that I suffer now because my impulse control center it doesn't work. So 86 stitches to close the wound. It took months and months to learn how to do little things, not motor control so much, but speaking was an issue. Like, I would hesitate between words or sentences, and I still do to a certain point. My brain still thinks really fast, but my mouth doesn't respond as quickly. So there's sort of a disconnect sometimes when I speak between how fast I'm thinking and how fast I'm speaking. So I relate deeply to how important music is on that level. Because it has been, I've stated on here many times that without music, I'm pretty much going to be the top of the most wanted list. You know, and people are like, "Oh, that's a funny joke." Okay, you think it's a joke? That's cool. I'm not joking. I'm letting you know if you take my music away, I'm going to be on the most wanted list somewhere. It really is the one thing that keeps me off the edge. As far as Lacuna Coil, I'm not really a fan. I've never been a fan. I don't know what it is about their music. Them and Evanescence both just kind of are like nails on a chalkboard to me. So I listened to the record, nothing grabbed me, you know, and I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's not a band I enjoy. There are bands in this genre that I do enjoy. I love Nightwish. I love Within Temptation, Midnight Soul. They're just not one of them. But, you know, like you said, they are great with their fans, and I respect that. I respect what they do with the different charities that they back. So that gets a lot of points from me. But we'll just kind of leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, I almost wouldn't put them in the same class as Nightwish and Within Temptation. I'm not too familiar with the other band you named, but like they are more guttural screams than Nightwish and Within Temptation ever attempt. Which, thank God, because I mean, I couldn't imagine Nightwish if they had the type of screams that Lacuna Coil had. They'd be a different band completely, and I don't know if I'd be able to sync with it as much as I do. But who would I relate? I don't really. Oh, actually, okay. I kind of relate Lacuna Coil to the band I brought today, which we'll get to eventually. But I don't know who else I really would relate. No, maybe Anasoke and maybe some other bands like that. Those are the ones I kind of relate Lacuna Coil to a little bit more, at least in my opinion. But with the Temptation, maybe After Forever a little bit more than with the Temptation, but I don't know. Lacuna Coil is unique. I'll give them that, and I love her voice. I love Christina's voice. Like, it's amazing. Like, that's what really drew me in, was hearing her voice. And I was like, when I was sampling your CD to pick out mine, I was kind of like, oh, okay. I'm like, this is Lacuna Coil? I'm like, why have I never listened to this?
Yeah, and it's interesting, CJ, you were saying, because Within Temptation, I've seen them a handful of times. I've seen Nightwish, and Floor is amazing. So the older, so as the band matured, Lacuna Coil matured, we just joked they let Andrea, like they let him off the rail, let him become a growler, because their earlier albums they did not. It wasn't the growl. It was a male and female vocalist, but it was different. And actually, I first heard of Lacuna Coil when they did the cover of Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode. And it was fantastic. And that's where I did. And then I started listening, and they changed, every album they seemed to get a little harder, and they formulated their own style. And, music's, to, ear the beholder for any of them, but it is important that certain things do click with us, and and it is nice to know that the bands are out there, some of the and they treat their fans well. And I'm glad you recognize that, because it is pretty cool being at a show and just talking to fans I would have never imagined to meet. And shit, I talk to them now still. I mean, I'm very vocal about my struggles, and CJ, thank you for speaking about yours. And obviously, I'm so sorry you had to go through that, but brain injuries are, unfortunately, they are very, very common, more than people realize. And it is very isolating, and using that. And this was powerful for me, this album, because the lyrics of it were about, not being able to breathe, being surrounded, just falling down as you can. And I remember seeing the show when Christina performed Gravity, and she like pointed at me and said, you have to go, as far down as you can to get up. And she said the same thing in my interview. So they do see they do understand what the emotions they go through, and they do. I think they do a really good job of putting it into words.
I mean, I get it. There's a lot of bands that I listen to that I know people don't get as much, and I'm a massive Blue October fan. I know Jeremy didn't like them that well, and I get it. Like they're kind of a, not for everybody,
Well,
but
actually, I never actually listened to Blue October until you brought on the lead singer's album, and
actually the guest did.
Oh, the guest did, yeah, and
I was just happy about it because
I actually went back the next day and I listened to their number one song on Spotify, "Hate Me Now," or "Hate Me," whatever it's called, and
Hate me today.
I didn't hate. I did not hate that song. I did not hate that song. That song was pretty good, actually. It was their most popular song, so I had a feeling it was
certainly good. And I relate to his lyrics the way that he's talking about lacunas, because I guess on my end of it, with the bipolar and the impulse control in feeling the emotions of just being overwhelmed and frustrated, and the world kind of always at your heels, Justin sings a lot about that, about the darkness and the whatnot. So, I relate to them on lyrically a lot. So, and there's other bands like I'm well known for not liking that are massively popular bands, and I don't get them. And, I try not to be disrespectful about it, other than just saying, hey, not my thing, but it's cool if you like them. I mean, there's so much music in the world that, you just kind of say, hey, it's not my thing, and you move on to something that is. And
exactly. That's the way I feel about Sleep Token. Ain't my thing. I like a few of their songs, but I don't understand the hype. I really don't. But that's me.
Yeah. I say the same thing about like Slipknot and other. I'm like, I just don't like certain things, and it's funny because sometimes I find that true heavy metal fans can be the biggest snob assholes out there because of, oh, you don't like that, you're a piece of shit, and like, it's okay, dude. Like you're not, you don't have to be a dick, and that's just the cool thing about music is people can have these opinions, and you aren't being violent about it or anything else. It's not a big deal. Just enjoy it. So I appreciate it, man.
I'm that way with Ghost. Like, I don't get Ghost. Like, you see this satanic Pope image, and your brain says, okay, this is going to sound like King Diamond or Judas Priest. Then you turn the music on and you get fucking Bon Jovi, and it's like, this is fucking 80s hair metal. Like, the fuck is it? Your brain just is like, no.
I like certain songs by Ghost. I haven't given their full catalog a chance yet. It's on my list. But Elizabeth by Ghost is the best song they ever did. Elizabeth. It's fucking amazing.
I don't get like I said, I don't get the gimmick thing. Like I've never been a fan of bands with gimmicks. Like, if your music can't stand in and of itself without having to use a gimmick, you lose me right from the start. I don't care how funny it is or how goofy it is. Gimmick bands just have never been my thing.
There's a reason I haven't brought Gwar Lordy on since you became my co-host. There's a reason.
Oh, you don't want to hear my opinions on Gwar, dude.
I mean, well, Gwar was more Chancey's thing. I would be the one bringing Lordy on in a hot second, which I know you respect Lordy to some degree. But
yeah, I do like Lordy. Lordy is sort of the exception to that rule. Like, Lordy, even though they have a gimmick, they're so melodic and catchy that you kind of could almost look past the gimmick because the music does stand up on its own. But yeah, Chancey would want to kill me over my opinion on Gwar, dude. Like,
he'd be cool with it. But
I'm in Northern Virginia, so Richmond is Gwar's hometown. They have a Gwar bar there. That's where they're from. So them and Lamb of God. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Actually, okay. The Lamb of God thing makes this funny, but for what's about to go down. But well, let's get back into it. Nick, what are your top 5 off of your album you brought? I'm kind of dying to hear this.
So my favorites are In the Meantime, Gravity, Never Dawn, Oxygen, and The Siege. And the one that I really like, it's a different style that they did, was I Wish You Were Dead. Not their normal cup of tea, what I'd used to, but I definitely really enjoy it. And so that is my 5 and the best mention, honorable mention.
Okay, our top fives are similar but different. I had two honorable mentions to this album because I freaking enjoyed the hell out of this album, especially the first half. The first half of this album really freaking blew me away. It kind of went downhill like in the middle a little bit, but the end kind of redeemed it slightly. But I mean, it just a lot of bands have that issue where they can't keep the momentum going through the whole album. Like I find that on this show a lot, where I can't just bands just can't keep it going like the whole time. Certain times, yes. I I honestly can't say. Yeah, actually, I can say that for every album on this. Every album we're talking about tonight, they none of them hold the fire all the way through. They all drop it at some point and they have to go find it again. So it's just a thing bands do. I mean, I don't know if it's people mixing the music, the audio engineers and whatnot, or if it's the actual band, but something happens in that process. But my two honorable mentions were the first two songs, hosting the Shadow and the Siege. I enjoyed both those songs, but they got knocked down pretty fast as the album went on. My number 5 was Oxygen. I really do love that song. The lyrics in are freaking captivating, and they make you could see what they're trying to say. You could really see it, and I forget the chorus of it, but the chorus of it was like freaking oh my god! Like I was like I've been there. Like holy crap! My number 4 was Sleepless Empire. That's just an amazing song. I really didn't have anything specific about it, but it's just an amazing song. My number 3 was I Wish You Were Dead because I wish you were dead inside my head. Like I love that chorus. It almost reminds me of the Cranberry Zombie in a way, like a heavier version of it, kind of. But I I really like the lyrics, and there definitely is somebody I wish was dead. So I can relate. I can really relate. My number 2 song was Gravity. I had to fall down and climb back up. Like I love the theme behind that song, and the strings at the end of that song are fucking perfection. When that string section comes in for like the last 30 seconds, I was like, oh, nice touch there. And my number 1, surprise, no one you didn't mention it yet. I was surprised. My number 1 is Scarecrow. I'm a freak of nature and I don't want to belong. I can relate to lyrics in that song so fucking hard. Like Scarecrow was such a good song. I I put a lot of this album into my like list on Spotify, and I really gotta go back and check out their older stuff too. But Scarecrow was just like, oh my god. I'm like, how do I not know this song exists? I mean, yeah, it only came out earlier this
Just came
year,
out. Yeah.
but I mean, still, I digest so much new music on like a monthly basis. It's not even funny. So I'm like, how do I? I'm like, how do I? I'm like, how did I never get another Kuna Koyo? I really don't know how it didn't happen. At some point in my life, I think I would have clicked with it, but well, I guess I just really never knew anybody that was into it enough to like go on and be like, you gotta listen to Lacuna Coil. Like I never had that person. Like other bands, yeah, of course, but like Lacuna Coil, I just never had anybody come and be like, you gotta listen to this band. And I wish I did, because I probably would have been a massive fan for years now if I heard them earlier.
Well, you mentioned Oxygen, and Oxygen's, I mean, I love that song, but so they did a lot of music videos, and like in the beginning of it, where she seems like she's screaming, it's like really high pitched all over the place, but in the filming of it, they filmed the scene underwater, so she's like screaming underwater trying to get out. So check out you'll see the Gravity and Oxygen were both fantastic videos that really got the nature of what they were trying to convey and just really feel it. And yeah, it was very powerful.
See, I'm a big music video lover. The artwork behind music videos is astounding these days, especially. And I I didn't do it for your album because I just got to work today and I was going through. I didn't get to my emails yesterday. I wasn't at work yesterday, so I had to go through like a day and a half of emails, and I literally just didn't have time to go on YouTube and watch videos for your album. I did it for another album. I heard today for the first time because I wanted to see what they look like and I wanted to see how they do videos. But I plan on going back to the Kuna Coil videos at some point because I'm like, I guarantee I said to myself, like, I guarantee their videos are fucking amazing. Just based on this music, I guarantee they have amazing videos.
Yep.
So, CJ, do you have any tops for us this album, or could you just not do it even? Nah, that's a big no from the music god. All right, well, maybe he'll go back to one of these songs one day and be like, yeah, this isn't bad, but maybe. Well, I guess we'll jump to my album next, since it's kind of the closest to Liquid Coil, I think, out of the three. Well, actually, it definitely is. It definitely freaking is. But this is a band I want to bring on for a while now, and you talk about being close to fans. This band's relatively new, so I actually commented on like a YouTube video on one of their music videos on YouTube, and I was like, I'm gonna bring your band to my podcast eventually, so people can discover it and more people can hear it. And they wrote back like, thank you so much, that is amazing. And the fact that they actually wrote back to me, and they're too small to have a fucking publicist, so it's no way in hell it's like some guy sitting behind a computer for them. Like, it had to be someone in the actual band. But I got into this band probably 4 or 6 months ago, when this new album was dropping, and my coworker was like, hey, check out this video of this band I found. And like I watched the video for one of the songs in this album, and I was like, I like them. And I went back and checked out their first album, and I was like, all right, not as good as the second album is from what's released already, but we'll wait and hear the whole second album. Once I did, I was blown away. I was like, oh my god, okay, they definitely improved between albums. So I had to bring Nail Bites Nostalgia album. I can never say that fucking word. I don't know why. And I mean, they just blew me away. The female singer is what really got me in the videos. When I was watching the music videos originally, the female singer's performance got me, and I just like a lot. There's a lot of different elements in their music that I like. I like bands that are not the average, like run of the mill, like they could have been cookie pressed off a freaking machine. I want bands that are original, and this band to me seemed very original with the little things they bring into their music, and the way they genre jump in their albums. The way they jump back and forth in their albums is freaking phenomenal. So that's why I had to bring Nail Bite finally. And when I heard like the few snippets of the Coil I heard, and I'm like, you know what? They kind of remind me of Nail Bite to a degree. So I'm like, I could finally bring this band. I've been wanting to bring this album since it came out earlier this year. So like, and he brought the album from this year, so I could bring the new one. Fuck yeah, let's do it. I'm on a roll lately with new releases. I really am on this show. But so I mean, that's why I wanted to bring them. Nail Bite's good, and I can't wait to see where they actually go in their career after these first two albums. But what'd you think of them, Nicholas?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed them. I did laugh. I was like, huh, I wonder if you picked this, because I picked a female and male vocalist. But I enjoyed them. I definitely, they had a lot of different genres inside. I think it was like the first song, Nostalgia, because I was like, okay, here's some trap. This is definitely some death. This is a lot of Dimur Borgir. But I think when some of the songs, when they went in, like Shimmer, I mean, I loved that they allowed her to do her voice, and then with his, kind of growls. I think it worked really well. I was very impressed, especially for such a young band. I think it did really well, and it's definitely, I think, especially like the earlier, like the beginning song, I think it allows someone to hear different parts and say, "Oh, I like this type of music." Okay, well, there's this whole metal genre that you can go after with this. So I enjoyed it. I mean, I did enjoy it. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with these new bands in the metal genres is they've heard so much different metal in their childhoods and their early adulthoods that they kind of want to play it all. So they're combine these new ones are creating whole new genres, just combining metal genres together, and it's mind blowing. It really freaking is how genius some of them are. I would love to see Nailbite live. I think they're coming to my area soon. Yeah, I'm gonna get out to see them, but I would love to see them live. Like, they are just phenomenal. They've played a lot of big music festivals over the last couple of years, and they're getting bigger and bigger. I can't wait till they really blow up one day. They could be the next Lacuna Coil, honestly. I could see that happening. But I'll hope for them. I'll hope for them. But CJ, I know we talked before and you never heard of Nailbite, which I'm so happy I actually brought up a band you never heard of. But what did you think of them?
You really want my opinion?
I know it's not going to be great, probably, but I want it.
Okay. I wrote weird just for the sake of being weird. The record's about 5 songs too long. The weird Fallout style music that's playing in the background of some of their songs is annoying as hell. The female voice isn't terrible, but it's kind of derivative of a whole bunch of other female singers. And the number one point, the stupid pig squeal vocals just completely ruin so many songs. If she were the sole singer of this band, it would be listenable. But the pig squeal vocals that he does is just fucking annoying. I never ever want to hear this band again, ever. they're, and I'm not even like. There's just nothing about this record that, Lacuna Coil I could listen to if I had to. I'm not a fan of them, but I can listen to it and not hate them. This was like nails on a chalkboard to me. Okay, like this was just there was nothing enjoyable about this record, bro. In fact, I would rather have my balls shaved by a cross-eyed midget while listening to Scum than to ever hear this record again.
Oh, how dare you insult Scum? Oh my God!
No, I'm saying I would rather listen to Scum because you know I didn't like Scum when I heard it, and I would rather listen to that than to ever hear this record again. This band needs to rethink what they're doing.
I've met Scum. I've met Scum. He's a nice guy. But
I'm not saying he's not. I was just saying I didn't enjoy his particular brand of hip hop, and I would rather hear him than to ever have to hear this again. Like this is not an enjoyable record, bro, in any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've done Jaeger bombs with Scum for God's sake, but
and I'm saying nothing about Scum's personality.
I know.
Just not my particular brand of hip hop.
I'm drumming home the point, but I had a feeling this album is gonna be one of those ones that CJ either loves or hates. There's gonna be no in between. It's gonna be a hate or love thing.
I really wanted this record to be. I really wanted this record to be like Kim Dracula, or like Ghostbane, or something like that. And in places, it was musically, but then he started singing. And
yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of his voice either. I'm also not the biggest fan of his voice either. But the rest of the songs.
She's not a terrible singer. She's capable. She sounds like a bunch of other female singers, but that's not necessarily a bad thing if that's your thing. His vocals, though, just completely make it unlistenable for me.
I mean, I get it. It doesn't make it unlistenable for me, but it makes it. I look forward to her parts, but who knows? Maybe he'll get pissed off with the rest of the band and break off with them or something, and they could find a new male singer. But I actually like this band. I had 4 fucking honorable mentions because that's how much I like this band. Like this album blew me away. Just how different it is. Every track is a different thing, and you're always in for a surprise if you don't know what's coming. Nostalgia was my first honorable mention. The title track is really good. The music video is entertaining, and I like it. I like the song great. Shimmer is my other honorable mention. I like her parts in it a lot. Her parts in Shimmer are freaking amazing in the beginning. When Haiti comes in, I know it's not the greatest. My next honorable mention is Rock Bottom because I love the SpongeBob SquarePants references throughout the whole song. because they actually took the like episode of Rock Bottom from like the first season of SpongeBob, and which is the only time I ever really watched SpongeBob was when I was a kid and that first season came out. So I knew that episode right away when I heard those references, and I was like, oh my god, it's funny. Like I enjoy that song for that mainly. And You Know Who You Are. That was my last honorable mention. That's an amazing song. If you probably know, CJ. My top 5 songs are all songs she's more populated in the other ones. My number 5 is You'll Never Know. That song, if you actually look at the lyrics, is fucking haunting. Number 4 is The Heart, because I love her fucking chorus in it, and I love her singing throughout the whole song is amazing. Number 3 was It's Fine, because same thing. Like I like her almost poppy style singing of her parts, and then he breaks in and kind of ruins it. But It's Fine's a freaking fun song. My number 2 was Circus.X, because the organ in the background throughout the whole song, like I love that. Like it makes it sound like such a creepy carnival type song that it's almost Juggalo worthy, that song. And my number 1 is the song that got me into this band, and that's Parasite. The sitar in the beginning of it, because in the video the guitar player is actually playing like a huge sitar, and it's such a good Parasite's such a good song. That's the sitar. I'm a sucker for a good sitar throughout a song, and they fucking nailed it on that one. So that's what got me into them to begin with, was that song. But Parasite's always gonna be my favorite of this album. What were your top 5, Nicholas?
Well, mine were It's Fine, You'll Never Know, Sideways, Shimmer, and Endless. And I agree. I liked her voice when she would sing more. I definitely appreciated that more. I can understand, CJ, what you're saying about the whole the pig growl and stuff like that. But I did like her voice where it was added, and I wish she had a little bit more fuller, and she'd have hopefully more confidence as they go in to it more. But I think those were my favorites, and like I mentioned, my honorable one was Nostalgia, because I liked that they had a lot of genres in there for people to hear. Not all of them are for my type of genre, but it was nice to hear something like that. So again, someone picking up a title track or title track and first song, hear something and like, oh, what do we like out of this? They might be able to explore more.
Yeah, I mean nostalgia. You could definitely tell the early 2000s kids, and like nostalgia hits on a lot of sounds from like the early 2000s that like you immediately, if you grew up in that era, recognize, and you're like, oh, what's this now? But and I love the album cover too. I just freaking it's almost like a Minecraft pixelated picture, and it's freaking like it fits perfectly with the name of the album. But Sideways is a fun song. I didn't put that on my list, but Sideways is almost like their version of a pop song with like a little mellow at the end. Like so, it was kind of interesting to hear that the first time. Did you have any top 5 for this one, CJ, or did you just not even grab it?
So, I didn't get the one. There was one song that sounded like Korn, and it was not terrible until he started singing. But the main one, Shimmer, was a super good song until he comes in at the end. Like that song, I was like, hey, this could be a Scandroid song, or this could be a really good synthwave style song. And right up until he came in at the end, and I was waiting for him to come in sooner. So I was like, okay, maybe we're gonna get like one good song out of this. And then he like comes in like the last minute or so, and it's like, okay. I mean, Shimmer is the one song off this record that I would listen to. Like he's not on it that long. There are pieces on this. I mean, I will say this. There are pieces on this record that are good musically. I hear hints of Ghostmain. I hear hints of Korn. I can tell what their influences are. But they're doing too much at once. You know, they need to rein in kind of what their thing is and rethink him, like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I don't know, like, I said this, if they were to go in a Kim Dracula direction, this totally works because it's kind of what Kim Dracula does. But there's just too much all over the place,
Yeah.
from to the other, and it's
honestly, when I heard Parasite for the first time, I was kind of hoping that they used that sitar in every song they did because I thought that would be like their thing, and that would be like awesome if they did that. But I found out soon after that that's not what they do. Their first
they have
album,
a good they have a good starting point.
yeah.
Music, you could hear the musical talent, you can see kind of what it is. They need a good producer to rein them in. They need a Ross Robinson, they need a Rick Rubin type of guy to come in and say, look, focus this to here and stop with the, weird, like, there was one song towards the end, and I don't know what song it is, but it had like this like Fallout style, almost sounded like a video game clip or something playing in the background of the thing, and it's like that's like really fucking distracting when you're trying to listen to a song, but you've got this weird like track that doesn't belong in the background, and it's like, what are we listening to a song or are we playing a video game? What are we doing?
At the end, they did those songs goofy and silly, and I feel like they were. I mean, I feel like it's almost like when Korn would do like joke songs, like in the middle of their album or at the end of their album. Like I feel like
and
that's
there was some really good Korn style bass, stuff in here,
like Twist, but yeah.
There's some Ghostmane style in here in a few places, so I can hear the talent, but it's just he's got to go. Like that would, to me, that's the solution to write that shit. He's got to go. Let her handle the vocals, or if they had even a vocalist like Lacuna Coil, if they had a male female like Lacuna Coil doing this, I could totally hear it, and then you got something. But
at one song he did like a regular male voice, and I don't know what song it was. It sounded okay, but then he went into the Will Ramos, from the pig squeal stuff, and I don't know. It was a lot. I thought it was very interesting. I thought it had a lot of highs with it, and it was like, am I listening to Demi Borgir too? It's just so many different. You're right, Jeremy. It's a lot of mix with probably what they grew up liking and trying to figure out what lane they want to be in. And I mean, again, they're young, so I mean that's good. They'll maybe figure it out, but I think they definitely had a lot to offer, and hopefully they figure out and help them, get with their strongest suits together.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they remind me of Motionless in White that way, where like I can listen to a Motionless in White album and like literally every song reminds me of a different 2000s 90s band. Like every song is a different style completely, and I mean his voice basically takes care of all of it, but still, it's just that's what it reminds me of is the genre switching between like each song is like kind of funny. I could hear Motionless in White and like one song sounds like Marilyn Manson, one song sounds like Korn, one song sounds like Godsmack almost. Like he jumps back and forth between different bands.
I wrote down the other thing I wrote down for this band. I wrote down they need Mike Patton. Like Mike Patton is known for doing weird shit all the time, whether it's Tomahawk, whether it's Mr. Bungle, whether it's Faith No More. They need somebody like Mike Patton to come in that understands the weird and can bring it together and focus it. Doesn't have to sing on it, whether he's producing, whether he's just advising them or whatever. Mike Patton, I think, could do miracles with this band.
Yeah, I mean, they're young though. Like Like
Exactly.
Nick said, they're young. They got places to go. They could go places for damn sure. But well, CJ, I think it's time. What album did you want to bring this week?
I brought what did I bring? Oh, Dynasty, Game of Faces. Um, Dynasty is, I think they're a Swedish band. I'm not sure if they're Swedish or Finnish.
I want to say they are.
They're Swedish. They're Swedish.
Yeah.
They're from Stockholm. I brought them because they're big, they're bombastic, they're melodic, they're kind of in that power wolf type of vein that you like.
Mm-hmm.
And I just figured I couldn't really pick something, that was in the vein of the other two without my first instinct immediately when I saw Lacuna Coil and I saw yours and I listened to the one song, my first instinct was I'm bringing Maximum No Hormone. Problem being they're Japanese and they sing all in Japanese. And you're not going to understand anything they're saying because they're singing in Japanese. So that kind of went out the window. So this was sort of just popped into my brain. It's a new record. It just come out a couple weeks ago. So that's what we're going with, for better or worse.
Well, before I get to what I thought of them, what did you think of Dynasty, Nicholas?
I thought it was definitely power metal, and definitely I thought they were from the 80s. I was like, wait, is this I heard Manowar. I was like, wait, other bands rock. Manowar kills. Who the fuck are these guys? They sounded like Ed Guy. I mean, they were good as the opening track definitely had a great, guitar. I mean, so they are definitely musically talented with it, but for me, I guess I listened too long ago, too much Manowar or Ed Guy or whatever. So it was stuck in that loop with me. It was also like as you can't tell, I'm a fucking nerd. So it was like, am I playing D&D and Pathfinder? Like this, it was right out of a game. Like, all right, let's go face the dragons and the phoenixes and stuff. It was fun. I wouldn't take it too overly serious. It was like Manowar for me, and it was like, okay, good. It was definitely so it felt like an 80s power metal band. So yeah.
Yeah, well, CJ, let's just say you weren't wrong the other day when you said that you think I'm gonna love what you bring this week. Yeah, I mean, it's power metal. As you know, power metal is my fucking thing. Powerwolf, War Kings, so many other bands I can't even think the name right now, but I love power metal. I mean, modern 80s, I love power metal and where it's from. I'm listening to right now Rage, which is another power metal band from.
That's old school, dude. I haven't heard Rage's name in years.
they have a new album coming out, but
yeah, but they're not as good now because Victor's not with them.
Well,
Victor, like if you go back to the old stuff compared to the new stuff, you notice that Victor is missing. Like Victor is such a.
I'm on their first album still, so I haven't really gotten through the years yet. But they did a Powerwolf song on one of their cover albums, so that's one of the bands I went back through, like NSOK and Kissin' Dynamite, because I heard them on Powerwolf. So I'm working on Rage now. I might finish it by like 2 or 3 weeks from now. But so I mean, here in Dynasty today, I was like, all right. I'm like, I like them. I'm like, can I say they're my favorite, anywhere near my favorite power metal band? God fucking no. They're not. No. I mean, Powerwolf could smoke them in a fucking second. They could open for Powerwolf, and that's where they belong. But War Kings could fucking smoke them too. But they're good. There's some of their songs I like better than the others. Some of their choruses and their fucking lines are fucking amazing. Some of these songs. The music videos had me dying laughing because they have like the fucking Jewish priest like going back and forth thing in like the one video I was watching. It's just like, what the fuck? Who do you think you are, Rob Halford? But it's just like they truly exemplify the '80s metal that they want to be. Like that's truly
Yeah.
what they exemplify. I did follow them on Spotify too, so I will be going back and looking at their older stuff as well because I want to see if it's different from the new stuff. But because they've been around for a long time, so
It's
I
pretty close. They haven't
yeah,
reinvented the wheel.
I'm sure it is, but I like them. I mean, I shared them out to a couple coworkers today who like metal. I mean, they're not really the biggest power metal fans like I am, but I was like, this is kind of like this is exactly power metal to me. This is kind of like heavy metal meets power metal in a way. They're not full on power metal. They're not. Speaking of D&D, they're not fucking. Oh my god, they're not Windrose or they're not like fucking any of those bands that like have like the specific power metal like gimmicks.
No, the head guy comparison is really a
It,
good
actually,
comparison.
it's funny you say that because it is true. Because when I heard Game of Faces, I immediately thought King of Fools.
I didn't
Which,
associate the two together, but it is a very good
well,
valid comparison. Like they do have that very
yeah.
good guy. So
Which is funny since this last Saturday on our special episodes we just started an invitation bracket. That's funny, but
right.
because we actually just introduced like 2 or 3 people to Avantasia, and Tobias Sammett's genius. So I like that guy, but Avantasia is where he knocked it out of the park and kept it out of the park. So, but what are your top 5 for Dynasty, CJ?
I actually have 4 off of this that I think there's 4 songs that really stand above the rest. Number 4 is Mystery. Number 3 is the title track, Game of Faces. Number 2 is Devilry of Ecstasy. But my favorite one, man, it really is kind of a different track and whatnot. And I think it works for them is Dream of Spring is my favorite one. There's something about that track that I really dig.
Yeah, it's not on my list, but I will say Dream of Spring was it was different, and it was kind of like, okay, I see you trying to do a power ballad. Okay, like good job, guys, good job, you fucking nailed it. But and Dream of the name that was like really Dream of Spring, but okay, I'm like I still dug it. But what are your top 5 for them, Nick?
Call of the Night, Dark Angel, Phoenix, Dream of Spring, and Mystery.
All right, well, how the hell I get more fucking tracks on yours than your own album, CJ? Jesus, but I had
honorable mention. Fortune Favors the Brave, but that one was kind of, that's exactly what they do. Fortune Favors the Brave is just that big bombastic with massive guitar solos in it. So
which is what I love. So I have 4 honorable mentions because I fucking love this album. I mean, not every song was fire, but I fucking love this album. Fire to Fight was a good song. It was fun. Soul Survivor I liked because the background music sounds like the Imperial March in Star Wars. So like that as soon as I heard that in the background, I'm like, what the fuck is that I'm hearing? I'm like, that's the fucking Imperial March. I'm like, oh, they just hit my nerdgasm button. Okay, it's on the list. Call of the Night's another fun one. And my last honorable mention was Fortune Favors the Brave. The lyrics and the guitar were fucking incredible in that. Like you said, it's a bombastic power metal song. So, my number 5 was Phoenix. That's a classic power metal song. It's fucking amazing. And any song that's about a mythical creature, I'm always down for as a paranormal podcaster. So, number 4 was Mystery. That was a really good song. My number 3 was Devilry of Ecstasy. The video on that one's what I'm talking about, where they all fucking start going back and forth in the beginning of the video with the fucking flames popping out like in a classic 80s music video. Like, it's just it's nostalgia. That's pure nostalgia, that whole video. So I'm like, all right, I love the speed in that song. Like, the speed they're singing along with the music is perfect. My number 2 was Game of Faces. Don't ever fall in love again. I fucking love that line. And I love how the song is just like right there in your fucking face, blasting your ear as soon as it starts. Like there's no intro, it's just bam, 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 bam. It's like fucking right there. So, Game of Faces is a fun song. Number one had to be, and I feel like this song was different from the rest of the album, and it's not Dream of Spring. Dark Angel. It was a little bit off track from the rest of the album, and like I said, I'm a paranormal podcaster on the side, so I fucking love Dark Angel because I like when power metal hits on that whole heaven and hell theme. That's what power metal is meant for, is that heaven and hell theme, really. And Powerwolf does it all the fucking time. But to hear this band do it and do it well, like fucking blew my mind. I was like, okay, this might be my favorite song I've heard them do so far. So Dark Angel is definitely top of the list for me. But overall, not bad. You were right. I mean, you were right when you said I was not like it. You're not wrong. I had high hopes going into it, and I was not disappointed. So
It's cool.
there you go, folks. We did a metal week, which we haven't done in a while. So there you go. And well, actually, okay, maybe that's not true. We did just do Lord of the Lost on a recent episode. So, but we appreciate you all checking out these albums and give the bands a listen to. See if you like them or not. You never know. Maybe they'll hit something deep inside that makes you say, "Ooh, what's this? And what else have they done?" But we want to thank Nicholas for coming on because it's been a fun show. We got to talk music and we got to talk, once again, how music heals. It seems to be a recurring topic on the show, even though we don't plan it that way. But I think that's just because how true a message it is that it comes up constantly. So music really does heal. But Nicholas, hope you had fun.
Yep. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys very much for having me.
Of course. And where can they find you and where can they find your mission?
Well, I don't really have. I wish I had a better. I need a better sales guy for myself. I have a simple link tree of gifts of perspective. I do various works with Trauma Survivors Network.org. I am always trying to find out what is out there, what's next. Trauma Survivors is a very important. It helped me get through where I am, and they are available in many level 1 trauma centers, and making sure people always have a chance to connect. So I'm going to keep going to see what is next, and I'm not sure. But I know that life is a 4-letter word. It depends on how you want to use it, and this chapter. No, my chapters aren't done. It's just part of the story. So that's enough of my quotes that I'll leave.
Well, there you go, folks. That's a good message. I don't mind definitely going out on that. But CJ, where can they find you?
Website is musicgodcjplane.rocks, ROCKS. Plane is just like you see it on the screen. The YouTube channel is at Music God Reacts. It has the music reactions and it has the noise report, which we got a couple more episodes we're going to put out, and then we're going to retire that. And we're going to introduce or debut the new one, which is going to be a metal and punk show called the Mosh Pit Manifesto. And we're gonna lean heavy into the punk and metal stuff like Manowar and Borknagar and all the weird stuff that I'm known for liking, like this, like Sentenced and Malevolent Creation and Ed Guy and Avantasia and all that fun stuff. That's going to take the place of Noise Report. And also, if you go on Apple and Spotify and Podpage, something like that, you'll find the Loud List. Jeremy's on there a lot. We got a conspiracy theory coming up this Thursday. Top 10 list. We had fun with that one. Loud List is where we do the top 10 lists that rock. Weird top 10 lists. Pretty much anything your brain can conceive. and we turned it into a top 10 list. So, yeah.
Well, folks, go check out those shows, especially the Conspiracy Theories one we did. That was a fun fucking show to do.
It's coming up
but
Thursday.
yes, go check it out. Well, it'll be out a few weeks by the time this releases, but still, go check it out unless you're watching the video. Then wait for it. But you can find both your musers on Facebook as Squatchy Largefoot, on X and the Gram as at Juggalo Bastard, and you can find us on YouTube, Maniacal Music Musings. The only place to ever see everything we've done is on YouTube. Because podcasters suck when you switch services. Just saying. But come back next week, folks. Next week, we're going back in time a little bit. So, no new albums, just older classics. So, come back and check them out. Until then,
there's one new record. Mine's going to be a new record.
Of course.
But it's going to be exactly in line with the other two. So,
all right. All right. Now you got me curious. But we'll see what those are next week, folks. Come back next week and check it out. And we'll thank Nicholas one more time for coming on, of course.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See you all next week.